Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel Celestial Space Facts. Today in this video we will got to know about some sci-fi concepts that are possible. 5 sci-fi concepts that are possible. It has been taken from the article published on October 10, 2021. These common sci fi tropes could one day be some science facts. Science fiction novels and movies are packed with far out ideas, most often as the springboard for an action packed adventure, rather than a serious attempt to predict future trends in science or technology. Some of the most tropes, such as accelerating a spacecraft to fantastic speeds in the matter of seconds without crushing the occupants, are just plain impossible according to the law of physics as we understand them. So, here are some rundown of some sci fi ideas that could really be done in the theory at least. So, these are just a theory of some sci fi ideas. We hope that you will enjoy this video, and if you think so, then you can like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell icon so that all the notifications come to you. Let's get started with the stuff. Wormholes. The idea of a wormhole, a shortcut through space that allows almost instantaneous travel between distant parts of the universe, sounds like it was created as a fictional story driver. But under its more formal name of Einstein Rosen bridge, the concept has existed as a serious theoretical concept long before sci fi writers got hold of it. It comes out of Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, which views gravity as a distortion of space time caused by massive objects. In collaboration with physicist Nathan Rosen, Einstein theorized in 1935 that points of extremely strong gravity, such as black holes, could be directly connected with each other. And so the idea of wormholes was born. The forces around a black hole would destroy anyone that came close to it. So the idea of actually traveling through a wormhole wasn't given serious consideration until the 1980s, when astrophysicist Carl Sagan decided he was going to write a sci fi novel. According to the BBC, Sagan encouraged fellow physicist Kip Thorne to come up with a feasible way to travel interstellar distances in a flash. Thorne duly devised a way possible in theory but highly improbable in practice that humans might achieve interstellar travel by traversing a wormhole unscattered. The result found its way into Sagan's novel Contact, which was subsequently adapted into a film with Jodie Foster in the lead role. While it's highly unlikely that wormholes will ever become the simple and convenient methods of transportation portrayed in movies, scientists have now come up with a more variable way to construct a wormhole than Thorne's original suggestion. It's also possible that if wormhole already exist in the universe, they could be located using the new generation of gravitational wave detectors. I hope you got to learn or know about wormholes from this podcast of Wormhole. A small 3-minute video about the wormhole definition and what is it and what Einstein Rosen bridge and various other theories say. Let's go to the other sci fi concept. Warp drive. An essential prerequisite for most space based adventure stories is the ability to get from A to B much faster than we can today. Wormholes aside, there are multiple stumbling blocks to achieving this with the conventional spaceship. There's the enormous amount of fuel required, the crushing effect of acceleration, and the fact that the universe has strictly imposed speed limit. This is the speed at which light travels, precisely 1 light year per year, which in a cosmic context isn't very fast at all. Centauri, the second closest star to the Earth, is 4.2 light years from the Sun, while the center of galaxy is whooping 27,000 light years away. Fortunately, there's a loophole in the cosmic speed limit. It only dictates the maximum speed we can travel through space. As Einstein explained, space itself can be distorted, so perhaps it's possible to manipulate the space around a ship in such a way as to subvert the speed limit. The spaceship would still travel through the surrounding space at less than speed of the light, but the space itself would be moving faster than that. This was what the writers of Star Trek had in mind when they came up with the concept of warp drive in 1960s. But to them, it was just a plausible sounding phrase, not real physics. It wasn't until 1994 that theoretical Alcubierre found a solution to Einstein equation that produced a real warp drive effect. Life Science Sisters site space.com reported contracting space in the front of spaceship and expanding it to the rear. To start with, solution was no less contrived than Thorne's traversable wormhole, but the scientists are attempting to refine it in the hope that it might one day be practical. I hope this concept of warp drive is useful, and let's get started with the next concept. Time travel. Wow! The concept of a time machine is one of the great sci fi plot devices, allowing characters to go back and change the course of history for better or worse. But this inevitably raises logical paradox. In Back to the Future, for example, would Doc have built his time machine if he hadn't been visited by the future Marty using that very same machine? It's because of paradox like these that many people assume time travel must be impossible in the real world. And yet, according to the law of physics, it really can occur. Just like wormholes and space wraps, the physics that tells us it's possible to travel back in time comes from the Einstein theory of general relativity. This treats space and time as the part of same space time continuation, with the two being inextricably linked. Just as we talk about distorting space with the wormhole or the warp drive, time can be distorted as well. Sometimes it can get so distorted that it folds back on itself in what scientists refer to as closed time like curve, though it could just as accurately be called a time machine. A conceptual design for such a time machine was published in 1974 by physicist Fra- Frank Tipler, according to the physicist David Lewis Anderson, who describes the research on the Anderson Institute, a private research lab called a Tipler cylinder. It has to be big, at least 60 miles long, according to Humble, and extremely dense, with a total mass comparable to that of Sun. To get it to function as the time machine, the cylinder has to rotate fast enough to distort space time to the point where time folds back on itself. It may not sound as simple as installing a flux capacitor in DeLorean, but it does have the advantage that it really would work on paper at least. Time machine is always a fascination for us everyone, and so many movies and concepts have been discovered and have been told that this can be possible. But practically what is possible, what is not possible, that's why these sci-fi concepts are just telling that maybe in near future that we can get through it. I hope with this topic you are able to get something about time machine and the fact. Now come teleportation. The archetypical sci-fi example of teleportation is Star Trek transporter, which, as the name suggests, is portrayed simply as a convenient way to transport personnel from one location to another. But the teleportation is quite unlike any other form of transport. Instead of the traveler moving through space from the starting point of destination, teleportation results in an exact duplicate being created at the destination while the original is destroyed. Viewed, viewed in these terms and at the level of subatomic particle rather than human being, teleportation is indeed possible according to IBM. The real world process is called quantum teleportation. This process copies the precise quantum state of one particle, such as a photon, to another that may be hundreds of miles away. Quantum teleportation destroys the quantum state of first photon, so it does indeed look as though the photon has been magically transported from one place to another. The trick is based on what Einstein referred to as spooky action at a distance, but is more formally known as quantum entanglement. If the photon that is to be teleported is brought into contact with one pair of entangled photons and the measurement of resulting state is sent to receiving end, where the other entangled photon is, then the later photon can be switched into the same state as the teleported photon. It's a complicated process even for a single photon, and there's no way it could be scaled up to the kind of instant transportation system seen in Star Trek. Even so, quantum teleportation does have important applications in the real world, such as far hack proof communication and super fast quantum computing. Now we got to know about the four sci-fi concepts so far that can be possible in the near future, and some of the physics scientists also give the logical reason that they are possible somehow. But in this article we are just throwing the light on these topics. Let's get to the other topic. Parallel universe. Parallel universe. The universe is everything our telescope revealed to us. All the billions of galaxies expanding outward from the Big Bang theory, a famous theory. But is that all there is? Theory says maybe not. There might be whole multiverse of universe out there. The idea of parallel universe is another familiar sci-fi theme, but when they are depicted on the screen, they typically differ from our own universe only in minor details. But the reality may be much weirder than that with the basic parameters of physics in parallel universe such as the strength of gravity or nuclear forces differing from our own. A classic portable of genuinely different universe of this kind and the creatures living in it is Isaac, the gods themselves, Doubleday, 1972. The key to the modern understanding of parallel universe is the concept of eternal inflation. This pictures the infinite fabric of space in the state of perpetual, incredibly rapid expansion. Every now and then, a localized spot in this space, a self contained Big Bang, drops out of general expansion and begins to grow at more syndicate pace, allowing material objects like stars and galaxies to form inside it. According to this theory, our universe is one such region, but there may be countless others. As in Asimov's theory, these parallel universes could have completely different physical parameters from our own. At one time, scientists believed that only universe with virtually the same parameters as ours would be capable of supporting life, but recent studies suggest the situation may not be as restrictive as this. So there's hope for Asimov's aliens yet, though perhaps not for making contact with them as happens in novel. Nevertheless, the traces of other universe might be detachable to us by other means. It's even been suggested that the mysterious cold spot in the cosmic microwave background is the scar from a collision with the parallel universe. Even a professor of astrophysics at Liverpool Johns Moores University in UK wrote in the conversation. I these really five sci-fi concepts by Andrew Males holds a PhD in astrophysics from Manchester University, UK. For 30 years, he worked in the academic, government, and private sectors before becoming a science writer, where he has written for Times, How It Works, All About Space, BBC Science Focus, among others. He has also written a selection of books including Cosmic Impact and Astrobiology, The Search for Life Elsewhere in the Universe, published by Icon Books. Wow. These five topics, that is parallel universe, teleportation, time machine, rap, wormholes, I hope you got to know something about these all from this video. And if you want, then you can contribute by subscribing the channel and liking the video and sharing with all the concerned persons, and also commenting that what type of video you are expecting from this channel. We are making the content out of the published articles or novels so that the real facts come in the form of video. These all facts are available in public domain and we are just contributing it in the form of video. Thank you so much for all the support you are giving to Celestial Space Facts and our other educational computer channel or knowledgeable channel, that is Rubel Solutions. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a nice day.